Good afternoon, Atlanta. Good afternoon, Atlanta. My name is Ed Cota. I am the founder and the CEO of ATLAS Spine and Rehab. And we're coming to you direct from the Apollo in New York City. No, we're not. We're coming directly to you from ATLAS Spine and Rehab at 5855 Jimmy Carter Boulevard, Norcross, Georgia, 30071. Our phone number is 698-671-5651. An important thing that I want to remind you is remember our Atlas Spine and Rehab Gala, October 20th. We're inviting all our amazing attorneys, paralegals, chiros. Remember, last year we had an amazing time. We're going to have it again. And I think Julia and Gilbert and the people organizing it are going to have the helicopter rides again. We're all going to come back. And I'm thinking about being one of the pilots, or I'm making one of the attorneys to pilot it with me. But I don't think so. And I think they're even going to put in some cigars. So it's a little bit different, but we're going to have fun, and we expect everybody to come out, support us as we support you. And I have to say this. Atlas Spine and Rehab has been truly blessed to have made amazing friendships with a lot of the attorneys, a lot of the chiros, the paralegals, which are the reason that we've grown and had success. We understand this. We're just part of the team. You know, teamwork makes the dream work. And so when the attorneys and the paralegals and the chiros and we as the medical providers work together, everybody benefits. And that's been our whole goal. So again, Atlas Spine and Rehab, we've got your back. We're here to help you. And let me tell you why we work with so many amazing attorneys and so many amazing paralegals and chiros. Because one, we have same-day scheduling. I guarantee you. My phone number, my personal cell is 770-778-4069. I guarantee you we will schedule them the same day. If we don't, you call me, and you're probably going to get a gift from me. You're going to get something for us not doing what I said, but I'm 99.99% that we will schedule them the same day. Two, guess what? We provide our own transportation. So when you see the Atlas Spine and Rehab van drive up in a black and red, well, the patient sees the name Atlas Spine and Rehab versus just an Uber, so they're kind of confident that, oh, that's where I have to go. So we do provide transportation. We have multiple locations for you to be able to send them throughout. And let me give you an example of one. We have a clinic down at Greenbrier Mall, right in the mall. An amazing clinic, an amazing community. And one of the reasons that we try to put them in specific communities is because the ownership of that community, they take ownership of the clinic. So that creates compliance. So if it's in the community and they don't have to drive across town, they don't have to pay for parking, but it's in their community, believe me. Greenbrier Mall, our clinic there is amazing because our patients show up. The no-show rate is like super low. So that's another thing that you have to remember. We're cognizant of the fact that we are serving a public that's already traumatized by a wreck. They don't know what to do. The process hasn't been explained to them. So by being in their community and presenting the information in a very easy to understand form, we have had tremendous success. And I work with a lot of the attorneys, and some, I'll give you an example, like Ryan Greyhouse he told me he was raised and he grew up around that area. And I think he's the one that told me, like our medical director, Dr. Prasad, that Greenbrier Mall was the first air-conditioned mall in the Southeast. That's a trivial fact that I didn't know. But my point to you is that the fact that we've been truly blessed to have made a lot of good friends with attorneys, the chiros and the paralegals, because our whole idea is to be part of your team and make sure that you get the necessary medical records for you to take care of the case. Now, one of the other things that we do is the fact that our medical records, if we see a patient today, the soap notes go out that same day. That's right. We see a patient right now, and those soap notes will go out to the attorney, to everyone. You'll get them right away. We don't hold on to anything. We want to make sure that you're efficient. We want to make sure that we're part of your efficiency. Again, we're part of the team to provide the best legal service and the best medical care to our community. And one of the main things that we also hablamos español. We speak Spanish, Eu falo português. We speak Portuguese. So we're open to the different communities and trying to make sure that they have the best legal service and the best medical service. Now, another point that I want to make is that the confusion that we hear, I'm getting a lot of calls from our Hispanic community where they're saying the following. I called an attorney. They didn't answer. I called an attorney and they didn't speak Spanish. I called an attorney and they said they would get back to me, and it's been a week and they haven't gotten back to me. So with that in mind and trying to figure out how do I make it easier for our community, we're also letting them know that if they get into a car accident and they need to call someone, they can call ATLAS Spine and Rehab, 678-691-5651. Why? Because we already know culturally, we already know the attorneys that are willing to take care of them, the guys that we recommend. And it's not just 1, 5, or 6. We work with a lot of attorneys, 20, 30, 40, whatever the number is. But we want to make sure that our community is being sent to the right attorneys that can provide the best legal service. Now, I don't know how true this is, but some of the calls that I've gotten from some of our community is that there's some people charging them $500 for a legal consult. Now, this is a PI case, and they're telling me, and again, I don't know. I'm just letting you guys know that if that's happening, we know that that shouldn't happen. So in trying to explain to them the process, we know that, for example, the attorneys, some of the attorneys that we work with, Raya Greyhouse, Alex Northover, Dressy, Michael Carroll, Luis Vergez, the list goes on. But these are guys that we know, we like, we trust, and that we work together hand in hand. Our community only wants to be treated fairly and with respect. The Hispanic community, like any other community, any ethnic community, they want information. They want to be part of the system. They want to understand the process. And one of the things that you guys are going to laugh at is real simple as this. That a lot of times when you're talking to, let's say, one of the Hispanic community members that's been in a wreck, and if you have somebody that doesn't speak Spanish and you're talking to them in English, and you've got to do the following thing, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and that person is looking at you like, so you think they're understanding. Well, guess what? When you leave, they turn around to whomever's next to them and go, ¿Qué dijo? What did they say? And that's part of why this show, and we're going to have different attorneys. Like next week, we're going to have Alex Northover on it, and then after that, Brandon Dixon. So a lot of you attorneys that we work with, I'm calling out to you and saying, become part of this podcast so we can provide the necessary information for our community so they understand the process. Because I had a call yesterday. A couple of people were in a car wreck, and they really didn't know what to do. I said, well, first of all, you got to call the police, get a police report. And the first question is, but I don't have any papers. So we have to explain to them why it doesn't matter. You still have to call, get a report, because if that person hit you, you didn't commit a crime, but you still have basic rights. And that's a lot of things that we want to be able to have for our community. To go to specific attorneys, people we know, we like, we trust, and create this trust between us, to let them know that they do have rights, and that culturally we're understanding their needs. So I know that it seems like I'm rambling, but I'm not, because I'm getting a lot of phone calls from our community regarding these issues, and they do have issues. So we need to work together, and you hear me on social media, teamwork makes the dream work. So my issue is providing information to our community with the best attorneys possible, the best chiros. And even at that, I've been talking to a lot of the paralegals when there's an issue. I call them directly and say, look, I've talked to Mr. Hernandez, I talked to Mr. Lopez, whatever. This is their question. So then the paralegal calls and we really kind of help them sort through this traumatic time. So again, ATLAS Spine and Rehab. It's just part of the team of the attorney, the paralegal, and the chiro. We just want to make sure that convenience enhances compliance. That's all we want to do. And what we do now at Atlas, besides just the epidurals, we provide the best neural care available. And I'm going to get into it later, but let me tell you, one of the big things about neural, one of the big things that I've learned was that a lot of times we specifically focus on just the physical part, the MRI. Well, guess what? There's a lot more than the MRI. There's a lot going on in here. So Neuro Centers of America is now with us and is providing the best neural care available. Let me leave you with this bit. Our neuro, when he does his notes, he does them based on the fact if I'm going to get deposed. So he's answering the questions, we've all been deposed, of if I'm going to a deposition, these are the questions when he provides the notes for the attorney and for everyone. So we're trying to understand and figure out how can we make your life easier. Well, anyway, we're at the end of the program, and I want to thank you for listening to me. But remember, ATLAS Spine and Rehab, 678-691-5651. You call us, we've got your back. Si tuvo un accidente, nos puede llamar directamente a nosotros, a ATLAS Spine and Rehab, y nosotros le podemos ayudar con los abogados quiroprácticos, el servicio legal que necesite usted. 678-691-5651. ATLAS Spine and Rehab, we've got your back.